Welcome back, everyone. What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? Yeah, so this still part two to the previous stream we did, which is I think I named this part one. I couldn't remember anymore, but yeah, this is part two to the previous stream we did on Flutter, where we talked about the new additions to the Flutter API with the Flutter team, and also we talked about the event they organized in Africa, which is called Flutter Forward, where they showcase the power of Flutter and what people have been using Flutter to do recently. Yeah, and we actually decided to build some a project, but we didn't complete it at the end. And that's why I'm going to do another stream so we can actually complete the project. Yeah, so today we'll be trying to complete the whole project, trying to see whatever all the other stuff we can actually do. So far, we kind of like implemented some part of the mobile UI. We didn't complete it. We just added the top header and the bottom widgets using Material 3. If you are joining us for the first time, we are actually building this using Material 3. We try to, as much as possible, to kind of like customize the Material 3 widgets instead of creating our own custom widget with containers and other stuff. Like in this case, we have these buttons here. These buttons are actually Material 3 buttons, but if you take a look, you actually think is a custom button with container, but it's actually from Material 3 button. That's what we are using right here. And we added this input field. I can actually keep on typing as long as you want. They keep on expanding, which actually looks the same as what we have here. If you take a look at the design, you can actually see this view here is actually an input view where the user can actually keep on typing in. Yeah, and keep on typing as long as they want. So that's basically what we have right here. And so, like I said, we didn't complete the whole stuff, so we are going to go ahead and try to complete most of the parts. First of all, what we are going to do is to add another input field at the top. So we're going to add another input field at the top here, which is going to be for our email subject. So every email has a subject here, so we are going to add that for our email subject. Over here it says like something like new work inquiry. So let's go ahead and create an input field for that. So I'm trying to see how we can actually keep this side by side. Maybe bring this in here and then minimize this a bit. I think that's okay. Yeah, minimize this a bit, and there you go with our VS Code. So let's go down. Should be at the top here, so we should be adding it at the top before this input field we have here. For our first input field, we added that somewhere test field. Yeah, our test field. I don't know why I'm calling it input field, because we are coming from web development, basically from HTML, input field in HTML and all those stuff. Yeah, but in other platforms and tech, is mostly not called input field, but it's actually doing the same stuff. In Flutter, we call it test field or test form field. Yeah. So at the top, I'm gonna add another test field in here. Our code is actually not in a good shape at the moment, but we are going to fix that later on. It's actually not looking good. So, but for now, let's continue. So in here, I'm not going to add a controller, but I'm going to save this. Maybe let's go ahead and create a new controller. I think that will actually make more sense. I'm going to type something here so it can actually help us to locate our test field within our code base. It's called test field. Yeah. And at the top, I'm going to create another controller. Mark this to be late. Not reach test controller, but basically be using test editing. I'm trying to remember the name. Yeah, test editing controller should be equals to we'll call this subject controller is equals to test, a new test editing controller, and the initial test should be saying new work inquiry. Inside a test, yeah, new work inquiry. So yeah, there we got this. So are we doing long? Okay, I marked this to be late, so I'm gonna remove the late keyword from it. What else? So the private subject could be final. Okay, we need to mark this to be final because we made it to be private up there. So I'm gonna take this, and then we can use this inside our test field that we created here. So guys, I have a question on the chat. So I'm asking, what do you guys think about the current layoff in the tech industry, and what do you think about developers coming together to build kind of like a project to compete with other parents project out there, and kind of like also provide a second money streams for the developer that are working on those projects. So that, yeah, I'm asking those questions to see if it's going to help maybe reduce the impact of layoff in our industry. What do you guys think about that? Because a lot of companies have been laying off people lately, a lot of them. So what are we getting here? Invalid constant. Invalid constant. Oh yeah. So yeah, invalid constant, that makes sense. So we just remove that. Go ahead and save this. So you can actually see our input field showing up here, so that's cool. But we need to style it to actually look a bit like what we have here. You can actually see these have a border at the top and a border at the bottom. And also the text needs to be centered. Let's see if we can actually do that. Input decoration could actually help us with that. So use decoration property. Input decoration. So within the input decoration, let's see what we can actually do in here. Label test, no, we're not looking at label test. Helper test, no. test style, error test. Basically I'm trying to style our stuff. Prefix test style, no. Counter, no, not this. Should be able to style. Okay, yeah, style. I could actually use the test style. Test, no, because so I want to center basically center the test in the center of the test of the input field. That's basically what I'm trying to do here. But let's see if we can actually achieve that using our test style widget. Yeah. So we have font style, font weight, letter spacing, word spacing. That's not gonna help. Test leading distribution. Font family. Come on. Font weight, font style, color. Not really gonna do this. Test decoration. No, none of this is gonna help us. I'm gonna remove this style at the moment and try something else. Maybe alignment. Okay, test align. Let's try test align. Test align dot center. Yeah, that works. So you can actually see it's not centered because what we have here, we have this input field that is actually centered. So that's what we want to center this, and this works. So it's centered. So let's see if we can actually add a border at the top and a border, one border at the top. We already have one at the bottom. Maybe one more at the top. That can actually help. Let's see. So we have our input decoration here. Border. So let's copy all this stuff, all the border stuff we have here. Yeah. And then fix it in here. This shouldn't be constant anymore. Once we remove that, border side, border radius, and all the stuff. So basically the border side, we said it should be none. If you go ahead and save this will no longer have any border at all, but that's not what we are looking for. We want to add a border to it, so we could actually say border side, so we have border side. Okay, this will add all this border for the four corners, but that's not what we are looking to do. I want to be able to only add borders to some path. See outline border. Let's try this. Okay, let's say colors dot blue. It should be constant. If you save that, okay, this will actually need us to actually do the same for other stuff we have here, but I doubt this actually look like what we want to do here. But let's see. Go ahead and save. Yeah, so this will give it all rounded border, but that's basically not what we're trying to achieve. So let's go out of this, try something else. we have border side, dots, okay. Since this is actually limiting us, I could actually go ahead and keep it as border none for now, and then we could actually use divider to add around it. That will actually help. Okay, so we said our input should have no border at all. Then at the top, then we can decide to have a divider widget. Yeah, there you go. It should be constant. Let's save this. Yeah, so we have one at the top there. We could actually have another one at the bottom right here. So you save that. So you have to add that particular border we are looking for right here. But you can actually see that this has a lot of spacing, so we need to reduce the spacing that this has. Let's see how we can actually do this. Let's see if we can wrap this with a side box, and then use height to actually shrink it down a bit. Maybe say 30. Okay, that works. Let's try 20. Yeah, so that's cool. New work inquiry. There you go. So that's actually matching up to what we have right here. And let's see if we can reduce it a bit more. Okay, that's cool. And this border should actually have the divider should actually have something like padding. We could just start adding padding. Let's think of something. Our size box can have a padding on it. Okay, yeah, and we could just say padding dot only, not all. So that will padding dot only. Then from the top, because we want a bit of a spacing here and a spacing there, so we could just say top should be 10.0. I like using double for but padding. I think this is too much, so let's reduce it a bit, maybe somewhere around 5. That should work. Yeah, okay, that's much better. And then we could just add a bottom to it. Bottom we could actually say 5.0 also, so both of them could actually match in the design. Yeah, that's cool. We got this stuff that we are trying to get here, and both of them are looking the same, except that this has to be bold. So the text field text has to be bold. So to add boldness to it, what we can actually do is to add style in here, and I will say text style. Maybe add a constant in here, and we could just say font weight. So whenever you want to add a bold to a text, just use font weight. You already see we already have some suggestion here. We could just try font weight 800. Save that. Okay, that's too much. Maybe reduce it a bit to 600. Okay, let's leave it at 700. Yeah, that's much better. New work inquiry. I think that's cool. Except we need a spacing between this top. This spacing is enough. This and this is enough. We just need a spacing between at the top there. That should be before the border. Easily do that by that's not how to spell a constant by saying sized. Size box. Yeah, I think that's what I'm missing. Then we could just say height should be 10.0. Save. Now we have a bit of a spacing at the top there. Maybe you can actually increase it a bit more to match up with what we have here in the design. I would say let's keep it out. Let's add maybe 16 to it. Let's bring this side by side. I think it's much better. Yeah, it's looking closer to what we are looking for. Okay, right now so far, let's see what we have. Yeah, so we have, okay, the top bars, the subject heading for our email subject heading right here, and now we have our input field, the main email, the email body right in here, which is basically this. What else is remaining? So we need to add the test suggestions right here. You can actually see this test suggestion. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. Yeah, this test suggestion that we have here. So you have to add them, maybe floating around somewhere here at the bottom, and then we add the section also. I think that would be it. Then decide to maybe add a context menu. Also, I was actually trying to actually do some stuff with the context menu, show you guys how to customize the context menu of the new context menu of Flutter. And also, what else do we need to do? And also work with the text magnifier. I think it's actually okay, like how it looks like. Yeah, the text magnifier that they added recently. Yeah, we can actually use that in our email. That's cool. See that it's working. So, but let's continue our editing. So what else do we need to add? Okay. Yeah, so, and we need to add a floating test suggestions. Oh no, bring this up. Okay, yeah, keep it somewhere. Yeah, so let's add this floating test suggestion over here. So we need another container inside our stack widget. Should it be a container, or we should just add a scrolling view, or just a list view? Okay, let's say it should be, let's start with scroll view. This is an abstract class. Single, yeah, I think what I'm looking for is single child scroll view. And within it, you can actually add a child in here. Inside the child is going to be a row widget. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. And inside the row widget, have some couple of childrens in there. Inside the children, we are going to have let's say, yeah, these test suggestions we currently have there. And this is gonna be a container, yeah, because I have a container wrapping the test in there. Or we could just use a test and then add some decoration to the test itself. Let's see if we can actually do that. Test, and this should say thanks. Okay, yeah, thanks for sharing. There you go. Okay, go ahead and save this. Okay, nothing shows up. Okay, it shows up here. Yeah, somewhere at the top. But that's way off from where we want it to be. So I'm gonna move it up, and then maybe wrap whatever we have inside our body right here, which is basically let's see, so we have a test field in here, and we have this also right in there. Oh, because okay, let's just leave it where it was before. So yeah, use the position widget. So basically, to bring this down from at the top to where we want it to be, basically We want it to be somewhere right here. Yeah, somewhere right here. We are going to use position widget for that. Wrap this with position, and let's say top, because we want to push it down. From the top should be 90. Okay, that's way here. Let's see if we can actually push it from the bottom. Let's say from the bottom should be 90. You see where it starts immediately from the bottom. I think this is better to push it from the bottom than just pushing it down all the way from the top. Or we could just push it all the way from the top and not from the bottom. Anyway we actually go with it, it's gonna work. But most importantly, is best to actually do this with media query, so that it's gonna push this depending on the width of the screen or width of the device we are actually using at the moment. So I'm gonna say this is how you access your media query. Basically, media query looks like it's in CSS. Yeah, exactly what media query in CSS does. Basically, when you're on a smaller device, you say media query smaller device, some stuff like that. It's still the same stuff that this media query does here. So media query dot size dot height. We want to tap into the height property. I'm gonna multiply this by something like 0, maybe 1.1. Let's push this from the top all the way to where we want it to be. Okay, it's now off screen. We say 0.1. Okay, let's say 0.8. Yeah, somewhere here. Let's say 0.6. What about 0.7? Yeah, we could just leave it somewhere here. It's good over here. This should, from the left hand side, do we want it to have, okay, no, we don't want it to do that. This test in here, we're gonna add another test. And this one is going to say perfect. Basically, this is actually, we are creating test suggestions for our email app, so this is going to say perfect. Next, let's see what else we have here. Okay, the next test is going to say yes. Just change this, and then add some comma for separation. That will bring this up here. Don't worry guys, I'm still going to add this to GitHub, so you can actually get access to the code and all the stuff if you want to work with it. So I have thanks for sharing, perfect, yes. And now let's see if we can style this to add a border around the text itself. I haven't done something like that, but let's see if text can actually give us some stuff to style it with. So we have text align, text direction, local, text overflow, text scale factor, text width basis, height basis, color selection color, selection color. Okay, that makes sense. I guess what this is saying. So selection color, let's say the text here, let's try this out. I think these are a new API, a new addition to the text API. So let's say selection color, say colors dot green, and this will look like a marker. So if you try to highlight this text, oh no, okay, this input has already taken control of our cursor. So what I'm going to do is to allow it to release the control that is actually taking. How to do that? We need to wrap our scaffold with gesture detector. We're gonna say gesture detector on tap. We're gonna use focus handler to take back our focus. So basically what that means is that at the moment, if you see when we are inside the editing screen, we can actually tap outside or do any other stuff because our keyboard is already this input fusion is already taking control of our keyboard, so we can actually highlight any stuff again. So we want to take back our control. On how to do that, I have this function that I always keep in my Flutter projects. That's actually handy. Basically what the function does is that when you tap outside, it's going to release this control and give it to the main app or stuff like that. So it's called hide keyboard. Yeah, we're gonna use it here. I'm passing a context. The context is the current context that we are into. If you go ahead and save this, okay, it doesn't need that. Tap in here and tap outside, this goes away. That's actually cool. And we can, okay, we can actually highlight this. That's strange. Should give us the power to highlight this, but let's see one way to actually test the test section stuff we are trying to do right now. I'm gonna copy this out. We can actually test it in another way. So before the divider that we have here, I'm gonna add this test. Yeah, so we have a test in here. So let's try selecting this. Okay, since that we have been the selection has been ignored, is it because we are not using selectable test? Shouldn't ignore the selection. Shouldn't ignore the selection, but if we use selectable text in here, so there's a widget called selectable text that will allow you to add some text that if you want to be selectable by your user, stuff like that. So this text should be selectable at the moment, but still not selectable. Okay, like I said, something is strange. Okay, let's go back. So it's actually selectable. Let's go back to normal test and try this again. And normal test is not actually selectable. So I see it looks like this for Flutter itself. So I'm gonna go out from here. Let's continue what we are doing. So over here we have all these thanks for sharing, perfect, and yes, and all those stuff. We want this to be rounded with a border around it, so that's what we are going to work on right now. So we have this. So what we are trying to do is to see if we can actually add a border around the text without using any other stuff to do that. If text can actually give us a way to add the border around this, so I'm gonna say style. Let's see if we can actually get that from text style. Is there any property? I know it has a background color. We can add a background color to our text. That's not what we are looking for. We are looking for something like border around our text. So we have background color, word spacing, height, foreground, background shadows, font variation, text decoration. Maybe we can actually try this out and see what we have. Decoration thickness, text overflow. So let's try text decoration. Oh no. We use text decoration right in here. Okay, text decoration line should that's not what we are looking for. Looks like we are back to square one, where we are going to use other widget to actually achieve this. instead of using the test widget itself. So I'm going to wrap this. But before we do that, let's see if there's anything like border widget. So we don't have anything like border widget, except we have to use container on this. So wrap the test with a container since we want to give it a rounded border. So I'm going to wrap this with a container. Yeah, and inside the container is going to have a decoration. Remember, your decoration is box decoration for containers. Remove this. These two, close it off at the moment. This should be constant, and our decoration property for now should be constant. And then we could have border, and the border, okay, no, yeah, we need border. So we added the border right away, and the color for the border, wait a second, okay, top, right, this, no, I don't want to do them at the same one after the other. I'm going to say border.all, and everything we are going to add a color to it. So we're going to say color should be colors.black, so black colors that we will need. Looks like we are getting somewhere. So if you go ahead and save this, yeah, you can actually see the border around the test somewhere there. There you go. So we have the border around it, and this should have another property called padding. And to do that, you use edge and set dot, maybe I will just say only, and only we are going to target, instead of saying only, we're going to say all. Everything should be having a border of a padding of 10. Yeah, there we go. We have to add a border radius also. Border radius dot circular, set 20. There you go, nice one. So this is basically what we are looking for. For the border color, we don't want it to be fully black, so we could just add opacity to it. Let's say opacity should be 0.5. What about 0.2? Yeah, there you go, that's much better. Since we want all our tests to actually have this rounded border, all the suggestion tests that will be clickable should have this rounded border around them. So what we are going to do is to basically make this a reusable widget. Remember how actually I'm sure you guys how to do a reusable widget. Just put your cursor on the parent container and then tap on the yellow bulb here and then select extract widget and then give it a new name. So I'm going to call this test suggest. Then hit the enter key and you can actually see that being created. So let's go back and see. Okay, it created it somewhere here, and this, what did we remove? Okay, yeah, this should have some variables that we can actually modify. First one will be a string, the name of the test, or basically say title, the title of the suggestion, so just saying title, just call it a test. I think that makes more sense. Another one should be final. I'm gonna say this should be of type boolean, is first. There you go. We need to initialize this inside our constructor right here, and we need to replace the test we have also right here with it to have the test. Since we are not adding any styles, so I'm going to basically remove this entirely. You don't want some dummy code that is not doing anything inside your code base, so we remove that. Go ahead and save this. Up over here, test should be this, and is first should be true. So basically we are saying is the first suggestion that should be here. Next, we're going to say if is first is true, we want to add a padding or a margin at the left hand side here. Let's see if you can actually do that with scroll, single shell scroll view without adding this first. I'm going to say scroll as X vertical reverse force edge insect geometry. If you do that, that means, let's see, let's try edge insect geometry. That should be padding dots only. We target the left hand side, say that should be 20.0. Remember to make this to be constant, that will clear the error that we're having. Save that. You can actually see that's actually added here. At the left hand side we have 20 pixels of spacing, the same stuff we have here. Maybe I should increase it a bit, so let's say around 24 pixels from the left. That's cool. And then we could just keep on adding more of these, and this should say perfect. And add one more. Nope. Copy this, paste in here, paste, 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 paste. There you go. And then for now we are just pasting it. It would have actually made sense if you could just dynamically generate these suggestions. For now we just hard code them in here. Later on, maybe if we still have more time on this stream, maybe we can just find a way to generate them dynamic. So we have thanks for sharing, perfect, yes. If you go ahead and save this, let's see what we're going to have. Nice, you can actually see this stuff, but it's actually not scrolling up. It's not scrolling. Okay, so let's figure out why this is happening, why we can't scroll through the tests that we have here. But before we do that, let's add some spacing to each of these tests. Every single one of them should have its spacing. That should be margin, so use margin for that. Constant edge insect dots only, and that should be from the left hand side. It should be around 24.0. Save that. There you go. Not 24. So is first. If it's false, I'm gonna say is first if this is true. If it's true, it should be 0.0, else it should be 24. And not every single one of them should be false, so there's only one that should be true, other one should be false. Copy, paste everywhere. And there you go. Nope. Save. That looks nice. So we are back again. So we should be able to scroll through this, right? But so far it's actually restricting us from scrolling, which is not good. Let's see why that is happening. Maybe because I think it should be because we're using positioned wrap widgets with single scroll Okay, that's not gonna work because you can't just wrap the position widget with something else. So let's try position the view. Maybe we can actually be able to take control of our scroll view. Still having the issue. Okay, let's see what else we can actually do. In this case, scroll controller, we don't need a scroll controller, but let's add that. What I doubt if that's going to add any changes. So let's add the scroll controller at the top. It's gonna be final scroll controller. Scroll controller is equals to so let's add the controller in here. Okay, save. Try scrolling again. Still having the same issue. I think I figured out a way to try this first and see why we're having that issue. So I'm gonna copy this out, and then we could just go straight to inside our, what's it called? Yeah, at the top here. Paste it in here just for trying stuff out. See if it's gonna work. We are still having the issue. Come on, so what did you actually do? What happened? Sometimes you can actually get confused on stuff and trying to figure out why the row view and the single child scroll view is no longer scrolling through at our app, because we didn't add any other parent scroll view at the top, I guess. Wrap width. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we are having a render flex issues right now. We could use see. You should be able to recognize the scroll. And this is going to throw some errors because flexible and expanded should be used inside a row view and not around it. So fix that. Could just add wrap with flexible. But that's not going to fix the scrolling issues we're having. That's another issue on its own that I will need to look into. You know what? Let's go back to the previous place we are. Okay, let's try and do some debugging right now. I'm gonna comment every single thing we have here out. So I have insert a stack widgets. Yeah, everything should be out. Then they should have a body, which should be a row view, single child scroll view with a row widgets within it, and this container. They should have add pattern at the top. So we're just testing some stuff out. Let's see why we are having the issue. Try scrolling through this. You just want to okay, let's change the scroll direction here and see if this is gonna fix. Okay, that's scrolling on a horizontal way. Try scroll view. Check some stuff out. So we have our Flutter documentation. Let's see why this is not scrolling. So I have okay, let's try this again. looks like we are still on the same issue, because right now I don't know what's going on at the moment, because we can't even get our single child scroll view to expand on horizontal axis. Whenever it's on horizontal axis, we're gonna have this issue of being overflowed, and it can't even scroll. Or when it's on column, which is vertical axis, it actually goes on to scroll, which is something different. I don't know why we are having that issues. You can actually see that it's not scrolling with a column, with a row widget, which is strange. Shouldn't be happening. But once we give it a column, so we give it back a column, it actually goes on to scroll on a horizontal, on a vertical axis. It scrolls properly even when this is off screen, yeah, which is actually what we are trying to achieve on a vertical axis. But it keeps on giving me these issues. Come on. Yeah, so we decided to use flexible on the widget, but still not able to get it to scroll on row widget. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to use another widget in this case. Let's see if we are the only ones having this issue, not scrolling with row widget. It looks like someone also has the same issue right here. still not scrolling on horizontal, so I think this issue with scroll view on a horizontal view. Basically we go ahead and use another widget for our case in here. So using a single shot scroll view, we could just use a list view in this case. Just remove this, swap this with a list view, we have a list view right in here, and we could go ahead and wrap this with a container, because if you save this, all the shard is going to actually be in this form in a horizontal axis. But if you change this to scroll direction to axis horizontal, so it's going to scroll on the horizontal form, but it's going to expand every single one of them to fill up the space. What we could actually do, one way we can actually wrap this with a container, try and see if we can actually minimize the size. Yeah, so we can actually minimize the size to this extent that we want, so that we can actually scroll through it. I could have done this from the beginning, but I just wanted us to see if we can actually solve the issue with the single shot scroll view with row widgets, which we are not able to solve, and it's actually taking more time. So I decided to switch over to list view. Like, there's always multiple ways to actually do scrolling in Flutter. You can use a list view and then minimize the size of a list view to get your scrolling functionality that you're looking for. So once we got that, I'm gonna copy what we did here. Once I copy that, so I'm gonna copy from size box all the way to here, copy them out. And open up our body that we commented that previously. There you go, we are back to normal. I'm gonna remove whatever we have here that has a single shot scroll view with it. Replace this with what I just copied out right now. Save that. Okay, yeah, still works. Hope nothing is breaking. Okay, we still have some breaking changes. Let's go through here. So one is our pi, need to import maths to solve that, fix that. Okay, next one is scroll controller, which for now I don't think we need it, so I'm going to comment it out. The next is basically this, we don't need it also, so now we don't have any problem. Save that and restart our app. So now you can actually scroll through this. Okay, let's scroll down and see why that is not scrolling. So move that from the top. We use fixed size box um, okay, there we go. So we gotta scroll in again. So this is basically what we are trying to get to. Looks like everything is still working as it should. No more. Okay. Just trying to see how far we can actually get with this. Yeah. Because this should be overlaying on top of this. There you go. So we have this. Also, this should be working. Yeah, that's still okay. So let's see what we need to fix. Yeah, let's resize this stuff. So it's still too big from its normal height. So it should be up to this, and it should have a padding or a margin between each other. So this. Okay, before we do that, let's change the wording. So it should say perfect, false, and this should say yes. I'll set that to false. Last, set that to false also. New word, just any stuff that comes into my mind, just put it there. Okay, there we go. I think we can just get this to work right now. So yeah, okay, that's looking perfectly good the way we want it. Is there any other stuff we need to do? So we need to add a spacing from the beginning, and I think we actually do that using padding. Yeah, edge insects. Nope. Dots only. We want the path from the left hand side, and we could just say that should be 24.0. Make this to be a constant, and we done. There you go. And you can actually scroll, see the spacing right there, scroll off, scroll back again. You can still see the spacing right there, and I think that's still the same stuff you have here. You can actually see. Yeah, there you go. And next stuff we're supposed to do right now, we need to add this section also underneath right here. So it should be a button and some container that you can actually scroll through also. So let's go ahead and add those ones. Let's try write some stuff. Hello Henry, how are you? okay, keep on writing. Just some pretty much jargon, nothing much in there. So basically I'm trying to test out the current test field we have. I think it's good so far, nothing much to miss except we need to add this point. So let's go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is, like, underneath this I'm going to copy this also. Just go ahead and change one or two things in it. So I'm going to copy it and right in here paste this there. I'm gonna say this should be 0.8. okay, yeah, somewhere right here, that's what we need it, and that should be up to this. So I'm going to change every single child it has. The first one is going to be a button, and let's see, so it's a list view. We could actually get a list view. Should have a button, icon button within it, something like, okay, not like this, should be similar to this. So it should be a flat button, I guess so, not an icon button. So what I'm trying to do is to figure out where I use the flat button on this. Okay, it's called field button, so now I use this somewhere. Just copy some important stuff from it. Okay, we're good to go. In here is going to be field button. For the unplus keyword, just have a hard-coded function. Okay, removing the keyword constant from this. And next, the child should be a single widget, right? Just use an icon in there, and it should have icons dot plus. So we're looking for the plus sign. There's no single plus icon at the moment. I know what to do, so I'm gonna replace that with the plus key test on my keyboard. Yeah. So we add a styling, save this. Yeah, it's showing up here, but we can't see it. We need to change up the text that we added. So the text should have a style using text style. Should have a color, should be colors black. Yeah, you can actually see the plus sign that we just added right away, and this should also have a shadow underneath it, but for now let's focus on getting the plus sign to show very well. So I'm going to add a font weight, font weight 800. That should do the trick. Yeah, it becomes bold like the one we have here. Also font size, just increase it to 20 pixels. I think that's looking much better. You have this, and what else? We need to add elevation. Let's try elevation 6. That's too much. Let's try 2. It's actually looking like what we have here. There should be kind of a shadow underneath it. So for us to fix that one, to get a shadow, so using an elevation, because the shadow property doesn't work here. What I'm gonna do is to wrap this with a container. Wrap with a container, and the container is going to have a decoration. We're gonna make use of the box decoration to add a shadow. I already have one here. There you go. So we have this, and okay, let's try this out. Save. We still need to remove the elevation to get this to work. Yeah, that's working. Just we need to increase the spread radius and the offset. Yeah, there you go. So you can actually see the shadow added around the text. If you want to see that much better, we can actually use a darker color, maybe something like colors dot black. If you save that, there you see it. But let's add with opacity to it. Maybe reduce it a bit. So let's say 0.3. So stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, so we can just keep on reducing it. Maybe something like 0.2, 0.1. There you go. And then reduce the spread radius to something like 4. Yeah, maybe something like 2. And this broad radius, we could just reduce it to 20. Maybe 10. I think it's much better right now. So yeah, could just make use of this one. And the shape should be in a box shape, not rounded. So fix that also. Would have been actually more fun if we are actually also cleaning up our code at the same time, but for now we could just target trying to complete this. In the next stream, just target on cleaning it up. I think we are good to go. So we have this in a rectangular form. We actually need to increase the height and stuff like that. So to do that, let's see. So So I have radius. So let's create a size using the size object. So the width, we could say that the width should be 80 and height should be around 50, and this should definitely be a constant. If you save this, okay, the width is too much, reduce the width to 40, or maybe let's say 50, and then increase the height to 90. There you go. I think this maybe a little bit to 54. Okay, nice. And then the width, yeah, there we go. We're good to go. So the next stuff, so we got this button working at this point, so we need to add these sections with the containers and all those stuff also. So we have to make this a container. And inside the container is going to be a row widget. Use a row. Within the row widgets, I'm gonna have a children. One of the children is gonna be an image from assets. Now we need to get an image of Figma, and that shouldn't be hard. So I could just type in here Figma image. I think I made a mistake. This should be image. Yeah, so any of this, let's say PNG. Figma logo, just add a logo in there. Let's see. So try making use of this one. Then let's go ahead and download this. go. Save PNG image, download folder. And one more image we need to download. We need to download sketch. That's sketch. So sketch logo. Sketch. Yeah. Let's see. No, that's only PNG. Okay, we could try this one. Save, no, not copy image, but save image, PNG image. I'm gonna sketch, save this as sketch. And now we're going over here, so we need to import all these images we just downloaded right now inside our asset folder, images. So we go sketch, drag these two of them and drop inside here. And it didn't end there, so what else we need to do is basically update our asset folder to know that there are two more images that we actually added. So our asset folder should be updated to notice to have these two added also. So I'm going to say Figma and make sure it's still the same spelling, Figma, and extension should be PNG. Do the same for this. Make sure it's sketch, sketch dot png. No, go ahead and save both. Control S to save. So we have an issue. It says, oh, we made a mistake to the spelling. It's actually Figma. Yeah. It says this file doesn't exist. Figma PNG. It should exist, yeah. Okay, that's strange. Well, let's test this out, but it should exist. Let's continue. So over here, I'm gonna say images, assets. Use the Figma image first. That's the one we want. Try and paste this in here. Our container should have a decoration. Make use of box decoration, and within our box decoration, what else do we want to use in here? We need a padding. No, okay. Okay, there we go. Let's see what we have. There you go. You can actually see that showing up here, but the Figma design is not actually transparent because it's showing a different color underneath it, so it's not actually transparent as they mean to tell us. They told us it's actually is transparent, but over here it's not transparent, so we need to download a transparent image, not what we just downloaded right now. Or we could just download an image with a white background. That still will work. Let's download this and see. Okay, yeah, looks like this is transparent, but the previous one is not here. So this is the transparent one. We have to replace this . So we call it Figma 1. We need to do the same for pulse-spec.yaml file we have here. So it should be called Figma 1 also. Go ahead and save this. And not to use it, you still have to call it Figma 1 here. Oh no. FG, just trying to make sure. Most of the times we just make mistake on this. Make sure that it's still the same spelling that we used. FIGMA and 1.png. Okay. So asset bundle is not being recognized. There's another way to fix this. First of all, try to shut down the not the system. Do not shut down your system. Basically, shut down the app running on your simulator and bring it up again. Start it up again. So I think this time around you should be able to fix that issue. There you go. You can actually see there the Figma logo showing up. That's cool. Okay, let's speed up and see what we can actually go. So we reduce the size of the Figma file we added. The image size, we need to reduce it. Just gonna say height, maybe around 20.0. Well, let's keep it at 30.0. Width, let's keep it at 30.0. Format this to save, and there you go. And our this should have, okay, on the left hand side should have like a padding of a different padding. So I'm just change this to only target the left. Nope. Should be somewhere at 20 pixels from the left. Okay, that's too much. Maybe leave it at, okay, what are we even doing? Leave it at 15. There you go. And this should be rounded also. So box decoration, no, we already have box decoration. We have our border reduce. In this case, we should say it should be border reduced or Sakura. go, border radius of circular, add 20 to it. Looks like 20 is too much, leave it at 10. This will be rounded, and looks like we also need to add the box shadow we added in the previous ones on it also. So I'll just copy the box shadow and put it in here. There you go. See the box shadow effect on it. Maybe increase the border radius a bit more. Yeah, a bit rounded. So we could just go ahead and add this text over here as a file name, and then we have 4.4 MB or some stuff like that, and those two should be in a column. We have inside the column, we have a column widget, and inside the column widget, okay, yeah, and in here we have a test. First one should be a test. Bring this up so you can actually be seeing both of them. Should be a test, and within the test it should have something like wireframe dash DM. I don't know what it's saying there, but at the end of the day is figma.fig, which is basically the Figma extension, and this should be constant. Should have a style property, have a text style, have font weight, give that font weight of 600. Okay, much better. This container should also have a padding from the top, so I could say top should be around let's say around 13.0. okay, that's too much. Say around 10.0. It's gonna bring everything down, but we just want the padding on the text. So in that case, I'm going to remove the top padding from the container itself, and then move that into the row widget that we have here. Wrap this with a padding, because is at the row not the we made a mistake. It should be inside the column, because the column is the parent of the two tests that we want to add. So we should wrap this with a padding. Oh no, come on, go back, and this should be, let's say, only, and then we target the top and paste. No, okay, save that. Nice one. So you see the image will be at the center, but this one we have a padding, and the image should also have a spacing. Fix that with a sized box with a width, and should be 10.0 and a comma. Save. There you go. But 10.0 seems too much. Leave it at 6. There you go. You still have this. What else? What else are we missing? Just trying to speed some stuff up. Okay, now I have to add the last test. What I could do is just duplicate this test, paste, change this to say something like 4 MB, so 4 megabytes, and change the font weight to say something like 400. There you go. You can actually see that showing up here. And change the color to be color of gray. Colors dot instead of being color dot gray, I can use brand colors dot main. Okay, that's not what we are looking for. Go back to gray colors. Yeah, just go back to gray colors. Gray. Save that. and there we go. And if you look, this is actually starting somewhere. You want it to start from the beginning. You can actually fix that using, I think it's cross axis. In Flutter, we could just achieve that using cross axis. I think, yeah. So I would say cross axis dot start. Yeah, there we go. Now starting from the beginning. Also, we need a padding at this end also to actually space this out. Where can we add that? We can actually add that in the main container. So I would say right padding should be around 15.0. There you go. You can actually see the padding being added at the right hand side. And also this stuff, all of them should have a margin also. It should be a small spacing between here. You can just achieve that by using margin. And edge insert dot only. Should we use, yeah, I think it's only. Then target the left hand side, then say this should be 15. What do you guys think? Is it looking close to, is actually close to what we have, the design? Is it close to the design that we currently have? Let's put it side by side. I think so. So basically we need to add another padding on the bottom somewhere there. I think we add that. We are done with that, except we now have to make it a reusable widget, so we can actually create the second one right here. This should say bottom 12.0. Save that. Okay, we have overflow. Let's see. Okay, there you go. Except we need to make this a reusable widget, so we can be able to create the last one we have here. I think I'm not missing any stuff. Okay, there you go. So to make this a reusable widget, just put your cursor at the top, tap on the yellow icon, and then tap on extract widget and give it a name. In here, I can actually call this file transfer or file preview. Yeah, I think makes sense. File preview. There you go. So you can actually add, make it 2, save. Then you can actually see how this looks like. This is basically what it looks like. Except the second one should be for sketch. And to do that, since we already made it a reusable widget, we should be able to change the image. I will say final. Yeah, we want to change the image, so I will say final string should be a string image. Nope. Yeah, image. Next one should be what else again? So we got final image. Yeah, we just want to change the image at the moment, so let's keep it at that. So the image has to be reusable, so use the image in here, and it's going to show some errors, yeah, telling us that okay, it's missing something. So pass the image in here. The next one, we need to pass an image, but in this case we have to give it a name. sketch. So the name should be sketch. sketch.png. Save that. Now we should have, oh no, something is wrong somewhere. So one is Figma, second one is Sketch, and yeah, we replace this with image string. Okay, yeah, there you go. So it's actually working. So you can actually see the Sketch image, you can see the Figma image showing up here. Is there any other stuff we are missing? So we added this section, we added this section, we added this section, we added the top section for the title of our message. We added this and this, except we need to fix this section, add these highlights to our message body, and also the context menu. We have to add these buttons to the context menu. At this point the buttons will not be working, but we just have to add this to the context menu, and then this one we can actually make it to work. How do we do that? I will say in our app so far, inside our controller that I'm using here, so I'm using a controller called rich text. It's called rich text controller. You can find that on pub dev. So pub dev rich text controller. Yeah, there you go. So this is basically the widgets. Wait a second. Wait. Yeah, so this is basically the widgets I'm talking about. So you can go ahead and add it so you can follow along. So once you add that, I would say match anything that starts with @ sign. So anything that starts with @ sign, maybe give it a color of this particular color, and I don't know what color is this. Let's change, I think it's orange. I can actually say colors. I'm pretty bad at identifying colors, so I would say colors are amber. Maybe it's amber color. Let's try that. So I will bring this up, try to type something in here with @ sign at core. Okay, we made a mistake, so I need to restart. So I'll go ahead and type something that starts with @cursor. Yeah, you can actually see that it gave it a yellow color. We don't want to stop here. We also want to change the whole background. Yeah, we can actually do that also. To achieve that, I will say text type background. So the background color will be amber. Oh no. Yeah, the background color will be amber. The color itself will be I'm thinking of the color we can actually give it, maybe amber 900 shade. We could say green, no, purple, no, deep purple. Guys, do anybody know what this color is called? The name of the color that we are having inside here? I can't remember the name, but we can actually get the color by just using this tool here, color picker, and we can just decide to pick that particular color. And there you go. So this is the color I'm looking for. So I'll just pick this, and then in here in our Flutter app, just replace color with 0x full opacity, then paste the color we just copied, then go ahead and save. So I think that's it. So go ahead and restart, then start again with art cursor. Yeah, there you go. You can actually see the background and also the color changes whenever it starts with an art sign. We could actually say whenever it matches a text that begins with today, yesterday, tomorrow, it should have a different color. So to do that, we say over here, let's see, okay, now we have to work with regex. So regex will help us with that. Regex that matches a word. Regex basically the regular expression that match word. I'm not good with regular expression, so let's figure out how to use regular expression to match a word. So this says unknown caption group square bracket are meant to so figure out something. You can actually type any matching use instead of grouping. Okay, looks like we can actually use it this way. Our regular expression can be used okay, let's try this one that we just copied, and I will say inside here start another regex regular expression. We need to give it a color, basically a text style, a different text style. I will say the color, the background color for this will be green. Basically saying colors dot green. There we go, colors dot green for the background colors. Yeah, and go ahead and save this. Take this for a test drive. So let's try adding art season. Okay, no, that's not matching. Okay, we say now anything that matches with art sign, okay, turns it to something else. Okay, that makes sense. So let's use the word season. And this is matching just S sign. It shouldn't be matching the S sign. It should match anything that starts with season. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So nice one. So you actually see this season. So it matches it and gives it a green color, almost the same color that we have here. Green color, and okay, the background is kind of full opacity, so this should have width opacity, and the opacity should be around 0.3. And this should be green color. The text color itself should be green color also. If you go ahead and save this, try to restart, and then let's try the word season. There you go. You can actually see that it's been matched immediately and given a different color. And if you try anything that has an art sign like cursor, now it's giving us a different color. We can actually go much further. Maybe say anything that starts with a hyphen at the top, maybe give it a different color or some stuff like that. Yeah, or we can just stop here. So anything that starts with season, stuff like this, maybe we can actually have more. So we have season, anything that matches season, anything that matches today, not season. So we have today, give it this color, anything that matches yesterday, give it the same color, but let's see if this works. Okay, yeah, today is already matched and it gave it a different color. Let's try yesterday. Yeah, yesterday is matched, now is a blue color. And let's add another word in here. Let's say tomorrow. So anything like today, yesterday, tomorrow, next day. I think next day should also be there. Next day. All this word, yeah. So if you keep on doing this, so they say yes today, different color, tomorrow, a different color. Yeah, this is cool. Then anything that start with the @ so let's say you want to tag someone on the email. Right now we don't have that functionality, but let's say we want to tag someone or anybody. Let's say, yeah, any stuff. King. There you go. See, it has anything that @ has a different color. Also, anything with a hash has its own color. There you go. So if it's a hash, it has its own color. So that's basically how to kind of like style different tests in our controller, and that's possible because we are using this widget called rich tea. Not rich tea. I'm not drinking tea. But it's called rich test controller. So yeah, that will actually give us this feel and effect we are having here. And next up is we have to add more to our context menu. So if you go ahead and select this, you can actually see our context menu currently have three should I say icons? Is it icons? Three icons on it, or three buttons. I want to add this italic one. But let's go ahead and add a text, italic, underline, bold, and what else? Yeah, italic, underline, bold. This what's this called? Is it a straight line? Okay, we add this also, then add this icon. Basically, I think what this means is to select more. Yeah, select more from the context menu. I'm not too sure what the designer means to add this here, but let's go ahead and try add the ones we can remember right now. Should be inside our text field. So I'll show you guys how to edit your context menu. So inside your text field, there's something called context menu buttons. So in here you can add more buttons. So first of all, you use context menu builder. Within the context menu builder, you pass it a function that can actually help you to build and return context menus. So over here, say context menu builder, we have these two added to it. And over here we have editable text data context menu items, the previous ones. And now we are adding more buttons to our context menu. Also, same stuff they did here. Also, in this case, if it actually matches up an email, it should be able to show an email. So let me show you this. So if you go ahead and say @ because I was playing along with it, so I just added those stuff. So let's say we have an email, kelvin@gmail.com, and if you highlight this, it's gonna add a third button here. But if you don't highlight it completely, there's no third button. So if you highlight it and you notice that this matches an email, it's going to tell you to send an email. So if you tap on this, it's going to say you clicked send email. So you can use that to modify your add more stuff to editing app or test input field. But in this case, let's focus on adding more custom context menus. So I'm gonna duplicate this button.add. Since this is actually a list, and button.add will just add everything that we have inside a list. What I will do is to create, go up into our app, inside our app, create a list item that will contain a lot of context menu. List of type context menu item. I'm gonna call this menus, should be equals to this. Then we can add more in here and add more in here. So let's go ahead and fix the one we have added so far. So this, the first one should be T sign, and we accept a label which is a string. What else does it accept? Okay, just a label. The first one is a T sign. The second one is italic, which is an the I sign. Oh no. So basically delete from here and delete from here to here. And another one we have here is a U sign. It's not actually kind of like custom to what the designer will have here, but you can actually make it. Maybe I think there's more ways to actually customize the context menu. I haven't shaped much, but you can actually go more further to get that if you want on your own. And now you can get this up. There you go. And this should be B. This stands for B. And the next should be letter L. Okay, no, nothing else. I think it's end here. We just end it here. We could just test that to see what we currently have so far. Let's start. Then try to highlight. Okay, let's try to highlight this. Oh yeah, it shouldn't show up because we haven't added any of this yet, so it doesn't make any sense to show up at the moment. You guys could actually notice that nothing showed up once we tested it. So let's go ahead and fix that issue. So in here, because this is a list items, is expecting a list. There's a way to do stuff. You can actually use spread operator, or you can just use add or, then you pass it a list. You just add all the lists in there. Kind of like almost works like a spread operator, concatenation, concatenate different two lists together. So let's go ahead and select this. Now you can actually see we have cut, copy, test, I, U, and B. So B for bold, U for underlining a text, I for making a text to be in italic form, T for capitalizing a text. But right now none of them is working. If you go ahead and tap any of them, it will just close the context menu at the moment. And also you can actually see the text magnifier. The text magnifier is also working. Keep on drag this or the way you can actually see that. View our text that we're editing. I think this is actually great. It kind of like gives the user more control on stuff. They can actually edit, see stuff they're doing with the text. So I think that's the beauty of the context menu, and also the text magnifier too. What else do we need to fix? So we added these two in here. So we discussed about the text magnifier we needed to add. Also we discussed about adding different colors or styling different text depending on what the user typed in. So we have the hash. We have something like yesterday to target days. There you go. So these are the traits. So if you want to keep on matching more word with different colors, so you want to match different words while the user is typing stuff, and then you want to give it a different color, you can go ahead and do that by basically adding more regular expression in here, regex. regular expressions to match those word and other stuff. So don't worry, you guys are going to get the whole source code. I'm going to upload it to my GitHub. If you're not following me on my GitHub, go ahead and follow me on my GitHub. Also on my Instagram, I'll be dropping updates for stuff I'll be working on. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do subscribe, and let's get on. So let's see where we stopped. So we added the context menu, we added this, we added this, we added this. What else? We added all this stuff, except we need to add a way to actually send an email. That's not the one that we haven't implemented that yet, but we're going to implement it in this case, so that whenever you tap on send, you can actually send this email out. I will show you if I received it on my email box, so that would be fun. Let's try. So let's see. Yeah, this case, let's see if we can actually have a way to replace whatever our cursor is on. I'm trying to replace our cursor. No, I'm looking for test field. Let's try something. Trying to figure out if I could say value the selection dot. Okay, yeah. So what I want to do is that when the user taps, let's say the cursor is actually right here, and the user taps any of this stuff we have here, it will basically append this suggestion to the input we currently have here. Let's try and see if we can actually achieve that. This is just from my thinking right now. I didn't go through this. I didn't kind of like implemented it before, trying to see how it's going to work. So but let's go ahead and do it here, see if we have more time to actually implement it. I'm gonna say when someone taps on this, pass in the text that the user tapped in, and get access to the controller that we are using for the test, and then append that to the test, and then add it, set it to the controller. I don't know if you guys understand what we are trying to do. So let's try. See, so I'm gonna say void add test suggestions. Is a function that we are gonna pass a variable inside it. In this case, gonna be a test of type string. Oh no, I thought I was writing TypeScript, so it should be string. And it should be required. What exactly do you want to do? So you get access to this string. I'm gonna get access to the. I'm gonna say call this to be. Okay, string. I'm gonna say formal test is equals to underscore controller dot test, the test inside the controller, and I'm gonna say string new test is equals to formal test with a spacing, right? Add a spacing to it. Plus, okay, this is gonna complain that we need to do test interpolation like this. and in here is basically gonna be formal. So it's gonna be formal test spacing, and we have the new test, which is basically this. There you go. And now we can actually set this to the controller. We'll say controller dot add, no, edit children. Okay, basically this will return the editing children, and delete uncover by the selection mask should start string mask toggle with the selection. Yeah, so test is equals to a new test whenever we call this. And what I'm gonna do is basically say that where's the buttons where we did that, it should be inside a list view. List view. And okay, no, this is the first list view we should create, which is basically this. Every single one of them should have on click and needs test suggest. So I'm gonna wrap the container with gesture detector, and it's gonna say on tap, and it's gonna be a callback function. Final void void callback. So final void callback on tap, that's the name I gave to it, and just basically use that here, on tap, and also append it in here too. And it's okay, instead of saying just a callback, I think we could just say this should be a function that's gonna send us a string. So this over here will be called, and once it's been called, I'm gonna say on tap, send us over the string, in this case the test right in here. And once this is called, yeah, all this tree is going to complain, so we need to fix it. So I'm gonna say on tap, get us access to the test you have, and then we're gonna use that test to call this function I have here. Yeah, basically use the test, call this function that we have here, and we pass in the test that we have inside it. You just try some stuff, like hopefully this is gonna work. Hopefully it's going to work. Hopefully it's going to work. Save this, and now finger crossed. Let's see, hot reload rejected. So hot reload rejected. So let's try this. I'm gonna tap on this. Nice, it's working. It's actually working. Tap on this. You can actually see this. put a cursor here, tap on this, then you can actually see thanks for sharing. So that's basically what we are trying to achieve, and it's actually working. You can scroll all the way and tap. Basically, it helps you to easily add words to the users editing word. If you don't want the users to be just typing it, they can just suggest them the word. When they tap on it, you can just add the word for them. So basically, there you go. We can actually go ahead and go much further to improve this by saying that this cursor should not be leaving here, but the cursor should be staying here. That's something you can actually work on if you want to improve this further more. But for now, we don't want to do any other stuff. We're just going to leave it here. Since we'll be leaving it here, so let's go ahead and find a way to actually send this as an email to our inbox. And I found a package that we can actually use, and the package is called SMT Meta. It's called Meta, not SMTP. But SMTP is actually a protocol, email protocol, SMTP. Yeah. So pub dev. Inside the pub dev, we are looking for Meta. Let's open this. There you go. This Meta. We need to install this. So let's take the installation. So Flutter pub add Meta. Terminal, paste, hit the enter key. And Meta is being added to our app, and also is actually support that 3. Is that 3 ready? I haven't checked what's actually included in that 3. If there's new introduction to keyword, functions or stuff like that has been introduced. Have you guys checked it out? I've already checked the Flutter 3.7, which I made a review on my previous video. If you haven't watched, you can watch my previous video for Flutter 3.7 stuff. So here we have Meta, and let's try to see how we can actually send an email. So we have this. We could just get the username of my email, and then we have the SMTP server, which in this case is a Gmail. What else? So we have a message with another ways to construct message. And after that, we could just try this. Try final send report, await send message, SMTP server. If message is sent, tell us that message is actually sent. On Meta exception, catch the exception and tell us what happened. Okay, connection await send. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna grab everything they have here. But I'm not gonna add my email and password. You guys can actually try it later on. We have this function. Basically, it makes sense to actually create a function for that. And also, this should be on hidden. We have been hiding that for a long time, so basically unhide it. So yeah, there you go. So I'm gonna create a function at the top right here. It's gonna be a void function, and I'm gonna call this send email. I'm gonna paste the code we copied over, and inside the code we need to import Gmail. Okay, it's not being recognized at the moment, so I need to stop this app from running. Go over to my prospect.yaml and see if it's installed this package called Meta. So it's been installed. I'm gonna put it up again, ask it to install everything. So once that is done, I'm gonna go back and run the code one more time. Basically run without debugging, debug anyway. this is gonna show some errors. So to fix that, not to get some errors, but before we start running again, so let's go ahead and get all this stuff to actually work. Import, it's still telling me to create a message. Okay, that's Meta and SMTP server. It's saying you can actually find the package that we just installed right now. Yeah, we installed it, so why is it complaining I can't find it? Still saying that. Looks like I need to shut this down, close this off. Then now I'm going to open a new VS Code. Sometimes it does that, but one way to fix it, I'll just close the VS Code and open up a new VS Code. And then I need to open Flutter selection. Hopefully the error goes away this time around. So it looks like we are good to go. So let's see. Yeah, it's no longer highlighting the errors anymore, so basically it's been recognized right now. So you can go down, straight down here and start fixing some stuff. So we have message, address, address should be from who, username, Kelvin, recipient destination. And you can just hard code any other stuff that you want in there. Let's see. I need to install some package called environment variable.env. Show you guys how to use that to secure your. Wait a second. Env. What is this? Yeah, .env. So let's go ahead and install this. Footer pub add env. We already have most of this working, so except we need to add async, mark this to be a synchronous function. This stops. We need to wrap this with kdebug mode. Also wrap this with kdebug mode. Do the same right in here. SMTP server. Okay, send. Okay. We added our .env environment file, and inside here, our main file, at the entry point, create a file called .env. There you go. Once you create a file called .env, next you could actually say email password. is equals to whatever you want to add as your email password, and next should be email so you have email password and username. There you go. And to use this, so I hope we are following instructions. So we add, okay, we need to add this inside our asset folder also. That basically setting up a .env environment stuff, asset folder. There you go. It does everything to save it, and once that is done, also remember to add it inside your git ignore, so you won't just push your secret to GitHub and everyone can just grab it and do whatever they want to do with it. That's very important to know. So add this to your git ignore. Once you add once you add it to your git ignore, what else do they say we should do? Load.env file in main.dat. So we have to load it in main.dat. So we have to go straight up to main.dat before any other stuff. We call this function await.env come on, still not recognizing this, so you need us to shut this down again. That's not fair. So want us to shut this down. I'm gonna shut this down, start it up again. Think we good. So we added this. So I just showed you guys how to add a .env folder. Since I won't be adding so yeah, let's see if our .env folder is actually recognized. So it's actually being recognized. And let's see what else we need to do. So this is how to create a environment variable. So inside a .env folder, it should look like this. Okay. There you go. Once you want to access it, so let's say we want to access to change this username here. What I will do, just use this and go ahead and say import. First of all, import this, and inside our folder I'm gonna say email username, grab that, put that in here. No. There you go. Okay, string optional. So we're gonna say that this will never be optional. So I'm marking it saying that it will never be optional. So in that case, if it's optional, it's gonna break your code, so be careful doing that. But I know that I already know that okay, the .env environment will never be optional. In my case, I will put it in here, but in this current situation, it's actually not available, so this code might actually no, it's available but it's empty, so this code will still run, it will not break. So for the password, I'm gonna say email password, we grab it that way. And if you want to actually make sure that this is working inside our init state, let's test it inside our init state. I'm gonna say log, not this log, not matlog. Let's use print since log will not work. Print this, wrap this inside make debug. So if you go ahead and run this app, so let's go ahead and run this. So what the only stuff you need to do is get your your Gmail password, put it here, your email username, basically your Gmail username, add it here, and then this will actually be able to send message using your Gmail to anybody you want to send the email to. So that's basically how this works. But I will see if I can actually be able to test it and show you guys. So we have did it actually show up? Okay, you can do something like this. Yeah, is env. And this is basically inside the init stage. Oh shit, something is wrong. So this was not running in our app. Select device, iPhone 13 Pro, and then run it here. But something is wrong even if it's not running. Okay, once this is done, I will just try to do some stuff. Maybe you could just add some stuff in here to see if it's going to output it. And okay, nothing is actually showing up. Just see if we made it, if I made a mistake in there. See, so .environment email.username, that's what we named it. Yeah, here is environment fake. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, so you can actually see it here. If you take a look here, you can see that being console log. Here is environment fake. Here is environment, which is fake, that we added here. So it's outputting those keyword back to us. So that shows that it's actually working. And then you actually have to make sure that this Just give me a moment. You have to make sure that that is actually the recipient is actually a real recipient that you're sending an email to, and not just so you know it won't bounce back and tell you that it wasn't able to send an email. But I'm trying to see if I can get an email that I'm not using, so we can actually use that to test stuff. So I want to send an email to this person right here. What else do we need to do? Okay, yeah, I need to change this. So I want to send an email to this person. The same person as a CCP recipient, and also add the same person here as a CCP recipient, and BCC recipient is still the same person right in there. What else? Subject, whatever they ask us to add anymore. So send reports, whatever. And if you try this right now, it's gonna give us an error because this two is not actually real. But let's see if we can actually add something we can actually test with. So I have to put that aside to try to see how can I get some stuff to add there, and we could test with it. Okay, I just added some stuff, so let's try this out, see if it's going to work. So I was able to add some emails I'm not using here, so let's try it out. So for us to send an email, so I'm going to hook up this function, hook this function to somewhere, send email to somewhere, to this button right here. So when it's been tapped on, we can do what we want to do, which is basically sending the email. And here is the function, and I'm gonna mark this to be asynchronous. Okay, it's not a synchronous function. Send email is a function that will be called once we tap on this button, and then we can actually take a look here to see if the email was successfully sent. Because if it's successfully sent, it will tell us, okay, email sent, send report, and else. So if email is sent, it tells us that email is sent, else email is not sent, whatsoever that comes between that. So let's restart and try sending our email. So tap on this, message not sent. So maybe something happened, our SMTP server, the stuff I passed in was not accepted. But let's see, maybe it can give us a report of what happened. Error. So let's see the error right here. So basically the username and password we sent is not actually accepted, so that's why we are getting these um, errors. So that's why these errors are showing up. So you need to add a real username for the Gmail. Okay, username, password, username, password. Let me try another one. I'm gonna put this by the side and try to add another username and password. Okay guys, give me some time. Let me just see how I can actually get username and password you can actually test with. Okay, let's try this. Tap over here. So got the same error. So message not sent, authentication failed, response, blah 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 blah. Okay, I see, maybe because I added a multi-factor authentication to the account details I'm using. Password, application specific password required. And which I didn't add, so it's not gonna work. But guys, you can actually try it out. Basically add your own password and stuff like that and try to see wait, it's gonna okay, note that using a username and password for Gmail only works if you have two-factor authentication enabled and created an app password. Search for Gmail app password 2FA, then alternative is to use OAuth. Okay, so for us to bypass this to work, we know that using a username and password for Gmail only works if you have two-factor authentication enabled and created an app password. Search for Gmail app password 2FA. The alternative is to use OAuth. Okay, let's search for this. Okay, looks like the issue is because this stuff they listed here, I have to use created an app password. Okay, so I need to do this, but I can't do it right now, so I think that's the challenge we currently have here. But apart from that, everything is done with, everything is working except okay, the only thing that's not working that we need to fix some stuff. So what I'm going to do is that when someone taps over here, we want to send this as a message subject. So how do we do that? This is gotten from controller. So the controller in charge of that is called controller subject controller that we have in here. So get a subject controller and use that to be our email subject like this. There you go. Nope, I have to interpolate this. Yeah, there you go. So this is how to add a subject. With all this stuff, you can decide to remove this or you can decide to keep it. Nothing happens, it's still there. So the test, for the test, what we need to do is to get the body, and we can actually get the body. Oh, this is a mistake, not the controller but controller dots. This is going to throw some errors because you can't pass an object, so it's going to be controller dots test value dot test, and then the same thing with the test should be our underscore controller dot value dot test. Close this off. Okay, you shouldn't close it up. Then HTML, for the HTML you can just hard code this in here, remove this, hard code our controller stuff still in there. I'm gonna say is basically what do you wanna do? Okay, yeah, hard code this way. Then we have our test, we have our subject test, HTML or whatever. What else are we missing? Yeah, that's all you need to do. And then guys, you can just follow this one and figure this out. Maybe in our next stream I will try to get this to add this app password on my Gmail account so you can be able to test it. I didn't see that before starting this stream, so that's what we can actually do. Or you can actually do that on your own. There's nothing much. I will actually upload the source code to GitHub so that you guys can actually take a look at this. And then what you need to do is basically create this app password, add your credential in your dot environment. Then this is already set up and every other stuff is set up. Then you can decide to change your username or whatever you want in here. What else do I need to tell you guys to change? Okay, everything is set up. You don't need to do any other stuff, just add those ones. Then if you want to change the subject heading, you can just delete this and change the subject heading. New story here today. Or you can try other SMTP. Let's see if you can actually find a fake SMTP. SMTP free SMTP server. SendGrid. Or okay, you guys can conventionally build and grow your email program with our SMTP service. You guys can actually try SendGrid. Yeah, you can try SendGrid. Maybe they can give you their own SMTP and you can use that SMTP right in here to send a message. Let's see that. Okay, Mailchimp also have their own free SMTP email server. Okay, let's try SendGrid, see if this is going to work. Start for free. Okay, let me just put this aside and try to register over here. I'm trying to create an send grid. You could just try. Okay, looks like we are getting there. Can we go ahead and start using this? Okay, there's a lot to go through, so I don't think we can be able to accomplish this today. But basically, if you sign up with SendGrid, try to at this section they will show you how to use SMTP. So if they show you the SMTP structure to use, you just copy that and add that in here, create a SMTP server. Yeah, I'll show you guys. So if you scroll down, you see where you can actually create your own SMTP server. Yeah, so you can actually create your own SMTP server. So use the SMTP class to configure an SMTP server. So final SMTP server, then passing the SMTP domain and all those stuff. I think this is what you need access to. With that, Vara, you can be able to send emails and stuff like that to anybody that's out there to actually listen to you. But I will try to look into it and see if I can get it to work. Then maybe in our next stream I will show you guys how to do it. Guys, let me know what you think about the stream, if you like it, and if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Let me know what else you want to see on the next stream. I actually have a cool app that's coming up. I will also stream build. Is basically where is that on it? Wait, it's not actually here. Oh, looks like I messed it up somewhere else. It should be somewhere. Yeah, so there's the next app that will be coming up. Oh no, it's not actually playing. What's wrong? Okay, there you go. So I'm still working on it. This is basically a radio player. So if you tap over there, it should be, can you hear that? It's playing a radio live. A live radio is actually playing. So I'm connected to live radio to play it on the app. You can just pause it, then you can play it again. And also with the animation, I'll show you guys how to do the animation and other stuff. So subscribe to the YouTube and you guys are going to get this. You guys are going to get this on the when I'm done with preparing it to, when it's ready to stream, I will announce it. But try to subscribe on the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and every other places, so you guys will get notified when this is dropping. So I think that's it so far. Thank you guys for joining. See you guys next time that I will be streaming. Maybe if I'm able to get this to work by tomorrow, I will show you guys how to actually use the SMTP, and also, but I'll be sending the source code up on GitHub. So follow my GitHub channel to get access to the source code for this stuff that we did today. I think that's it for today. We already completed the app. There's nothing else that's remaining. The app is actually complete with this suggestion actually working, every other stuff. They send email, this working. Yeah, so guys, see you guys next time, and everyone have a nice day.